And so if I wanted to, I can actually create a three-dimensional chart using all three of those variables. So this is a 3D scatter plot that uses high temperature, shark attacks, and ice cream sales for X, Y, and Z coordinates, and it's colored by city. So when I run that, so there is the trend line, and you can see it's going from one corner all the way to this corner in a pretty tight bunch. This is one of the things that I really love about Plotly is now I can rotate this around, and look what it does. It puts the labels on whatever side makes it easiest to read, and it just keeps rotating it around so I can find the best view of this. And if I'm doing a PowerPoint or a Word document or something, I can screenshot that and drop it right in there from that view. And it also allows me to zoom in on different data points, and then I can rotate that. I can also download the plot as a PNG file, just like this. If I save that, and then I can open, and now that's a static image of exactly what I'm looking at. So this is really, really nice, really useful, and you can do a whole lot with it. So I can go back to the rotation. I'm just clicking and dragging it, but it does all that for me. I don't even have to think about it or worry about it. So there's definitely a relationship between those three factors: high temperature, ice cream sales, and shark attacks. So if I am wanting another view of that, let me just show you another way of looking at this. If I want to look at three variables in another way, I can do shark attacks and ice cream sales and use temperature for the color. So that allows me to see three variables as well. Okay, so temperature is the color. I can see that higher number of shark attacks, higher number of ice cream sales also appears to have a relationship with higher temperatures. And you can change the size of the dots. You can change the placement of these things. You can change the grid lines. You can change the font size. You can do almost unlimited, almost too many different things to customize these charts. So it's really, really useful. So after exploring this data, as a data scientist, especially after I see that the 3D chart here, right? If I'm looking at this 3D chart and I'm using a little bit of logic, right? One of those things could not be influenced by the other two, right? Now, ice cream sales, is this likely to be the thing that controls high temperature and shark attacks? No, probably not. We don't know if there's a causal relationship between these two things. We just know that they both go up together. But if I'm looking at high temperature, I'm like, this one is an environmental variable. Nobody can control this. Nothing else. Neither of these two things is going to influence temperature. So that is what we call the independent variable. That's the thing that controls the other things. So high temperature, likely the story we're going to tell when we show this data is, we believe that high temperature results in both shark attacks and ice cream sales. And it's not even necessarily that sharks are more aggressive when it's hot outside. What happens when it's hot outside and you live at the beach? What are you going to do after you eat your ice cream cone? You're still hot? You're going to go jump in the water, right? So it's a crime of opportunity, really. The shark attacks are because there are simply more people in the water on hotter years. And so, in fact, there isn't a causal relationship between shark attacks and ice cream sales. It's just a correlation. And so that is how we might use charts to tell a story.